Honestly, reading slumps are the absolute worst. They are a nightmare to deal with, but there's something that you can deal with. And that's exactly what we're doing today. So let's go over all of the ways that you can get rid of a reading slump and get back into that mindset of reading books. Let's go. Welcome back, everybody. Hi. In case you don't know me yet, my name is Viv. I own a lot of books. I love reading, and right now I'm in a reading slump. Well, I used to be, because I filmed this video over the past week. So on Monday, I asked all of you, how did you get out of a reading slump? Because I was in a huge reading slump, and you sent me a lot of ideas, so now I'm making this video just to see how to get out of this thing, and it worked. That's what we're dealing with. I'm going to tell you all the things that I did that helped me get back into the reading grind. In case you're new to the terminology, a reading slump is just a mindset where you don't feel like reading. Now, that might be your everyday mindset where you're like, I don't like to read. It might be just you feeling very icky and very wrong in the brain and you just don't feel like picking up a book, which is how I feel sometimes. And there are strategies to get rid of this specifically, to target this reading slump, pack it up, throw it out the window. We don't need it anymore. It's gone. At least I hope that by the end of this video you can use all the things that I tell you and get rid of this thing, because we don't need it. We don't need reading slumps in our lives. They make life harder. First of all, why would you actually be in a reading slump? If you generally read. So for me, I can only speak of personal experience, because I don't know why you guys get into reading slumps. I just know why I do. There are multiple options. One, something like my brain is on overload. I get overstimulated quite fast, and that's just things are loud in there, and then all I want to do is just lay in bed and watch Minecraft YouTube videos. And that's fine. But I'm not in the mindset to read, and that's when I sink deeper and deeper into it because I don't want to pick up a book. Another way of getting into these slumps is actually reading a really, really good book and then not knowing what to read afterwards because you know that everything you read after is gonna be worse. So that's also just a thing. But now that we've talked about the reading slump itself, we're gonna talk about how to get rid of it because that's why you're all here. So I have multiple ways to get rid of this slump, and we're gonna go through all of them. So the first thing is to just put your books away, don't think about reading, take a complete day off without thinking about books, thinking about reading, do something else, and then after that day, slowly pick up a book again. There are multiple ways and multiple book options that you can pick up that will help this. And you can either take that day off or you can't. In case you don't want to do that and you want to just read now. The worst thing to do is to force yourself to read because then you don't want to actually pick up a book. And so that's not helpful to anybody. You won't enjoy the book as much. So here are the multiple options that you have for picking up a book again once you are feeling like you're ready or once you have to be ready. Option number 1, go for an audiobook. There are a lot of fun audiobooks either on Spotify or you can get an audiobook subscription like Audible, and you can just listen to your book there. You can just do whatever it is you want to do as well. For example, for me, that's just sitting on my Switch playing Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing and listening to an audiobook. I am very specific when it comes to audiobooks because I can't remember them for shit. So all I can listen to are romance audiobooks. And that's fine. Listen to what you think will make you want to finish that book. Don't read a book that you've been putting off for a while. That's not gonna work. You need a book that's exciting to you, that's fast-paced, and that's good, and that makes you happy. Now, if you don't want to go for audiobooks, if that's not your thing, you can pick up a physical book or you can pick up an ebook. For me personally, picking up an ebook works a lot better because it's just quicker that way, and I'm just skipping through the pages and I'm having a better time actually, which is weird. But that's mostly because of the choice of book. So that is what we're going to get into now. Quick check on fast-paced books that you can read that are good for this situation. First of all, I know this is intimidating, but Fourth Wing, really good. It starts out really fast, and it's not like in the beginning where you have to introduce the world first, but things happen in the beginning and it's really good in the beginning already. Sticking with fantasy, The Shadows Between Us, also really good. Another one that I couldn't find, I cannot find anything in this rainbow, by the way, I hate it so much. The Bridge Kingdom, really, really good for this as well. And the Plated Prisoner series, also really good, really quick, really fast to read. For romance, we have a few. Honestly, all of these ice hockey romances are like just great for this. But also Chestnut Spring series, great for this, and the Twisted series, also incredible for this. There are a lot of fast-paced books. There's also Fable. I'm not sure if you heard about Fable. Fable is like a pirate story. I loved Fable. It was very, very fast-paced and it went really, really easy. I just couldn't find it because it's somewhere in there and I don't know where I put it. I just don't know anymore. Okay, let's go back. For me, what personally works best is reading spicy romance. Now, somebody said just read a lot of spice. That's not my cup of tea. Like, that's not it. I want to read fluffy romance that potentially has spice but doesn't need to have it. So what I did is just grab myself a book. I read the entire Lovelight Farms series the last week because it was just so nice, so cozy, so fluffy, and I was really feeling that book and that series. So I was just like on my Kindle all the time, and I was just reading. Now, that is a really good option. The second option that you have about like what kind of book you want to read, maybe, potentially, is a book that you've been anticipating for a long time. If you've been wanting to pick up a specific book, say you've been wanting to pick up Fourth Wing for a while, and you're really excited about it, and that book makes you feel something, then you pick that up. Now, the third option you have is to reread one of your favorite books. That is what I did as well. I'm still in the middle of it. I'm almost done. Ba-bum! I try to reread Fourth Wing, which is going great, by the way, because I am very much excited for Iron Flame. And I don't want to have any spoilers for Iron Flame because I still have to read it, but I need to read Fourth Wing again because I already forgot most of the names of the characters, and that's just like not helpful in my brain because there's a lot of characters and we're at like a school setting, so I need to like get back on track with that. So I started reading Fourth Wing again and it made me giggle, and that was the moment where I snapped and my brain went back into like read mode, and I've been obsessed ever since. Now, if you sit down and you just don't want to read but you have to, the easiest way to get you to read is to set yourself a daily goal. For example, you can grab some Post-its and you can just tap down about 30 pages, and then you have like a goal of 30 pages a day that you slowly get through. Now, that is only the option I would say if you don't feel like reading, you shouldn't be reading. But now that it's the end of the year, you really want to like get on with your reading goal because maybe you still have like 30 books left on there. The best way is actually to really just just read a little snippet at one at a time and just like go slow. Don't read too much, and then if you have those 30 pages in, you are welcome to read more. You're welcome to go to the next milestone. So for me, if I tap the entire book through and I have 30 pages and then I read 30 and another 30 and another 30, that feels so good and so rewarding. The only rule for this is if you read 60 pages a day, that does not mean that the next day you don't have to read anything. That's it. If you read more a day, then you just start new. You start fresh every single day. That way you actually do read every day. So just like make it a habit. Second thing that I always say when people ask me how to read more, don't do anything else. Put your laptop away, close the Netflix, put your phone away, don't scroll Instagram. Really just like focus on the book and then it will just start rolling itself. That's something that I always fail at this, other people always fail, we all fail. So another person said that what helps them get through a reading slump is changing the language or changing the genre of book that you're reading. So for example, for me, changing the genre would be to like read either a thriller or read something like horror or read non-fiction, which I didn't do because I knew that that wasn't the perfect thing and the perfect solution for me personally, but maybe it's what would work for you. So like getting a different perspective on reading, so picking something that you don't usually read, that is good. One thing that I did, for example, is I picked up seasonal romances, so I read a Christmas book, and that really like made me want to read more because it's a Christmas book and it's the first Christmas book of the season, and it just got me into the reading mindset a little more. And then another thing with the languages, of course, not everybody here can speak or read it fluently in like 2 different languages. I was lucky enough to be raised bilingual, so I technically have 2 German books here somewhere, but I didn't feel like picking that one up yet, so that also wasn't the perfect solution for me, but it might be the perfect solution for you, just because, again, it's a change of scenery. It's different and it's another challenge, and you don't do it very often, and you give your brain something new to feast on, and so that might also be just a good solution for you. And now, something that some other person told me that I didn't do because I am actually like, I'm doing so well this month. Go buy yourself a new book that you're excited about. And I didn't do it. I'm on a book buying ban. Like, I have 280 books on my TBR right now. I cannot deal with all of those and buy new ones. So I didn't get any books for my birthday last week. I didn't get any books like myself. I was so good. A book arrived today, but that was like a pre-order, so I think it's fine. Technically, I also got the Kindle book for Iron Flame. But that doesn't count because I had it pre-ordered, right? Pre-orders do not count. But that's also like something, if you're really excited about a new book and then you just pick it up and then you read it at the bookstore, so good. And then the last thing that actually really helped me was, for example, I had lectures last week, so of course I would read less. But what I did was I took my Kindle with me, or I took the Fourth Wing book with me, and then I was sitting in the lecture hall during like our coffee breaks, and I was just reading, and I was having a good time, and there was nothing else I'd rather do, just because I could either communicate with others or read. And you know it's reading, like why would I communicate? I read the entire time. It was so much fun. I was just sitting there in my lecture, not during the lecture, but I was just sitting there during like free period, and I was just having a good time with my book, and that's honestly everything I could ever want and I could ever dream of. So one other thing that I would just like to throw in here, it might also be good for you to change the type of book that you read. For example, why not try out a manga? Why not try out some comics? Why not try out graphic novels? Those are books that are, because you have the visual aspect as well and you have the pictures, that might be easier for you to just like get back into it. It might be better for you to get excited about that. One last thing that somebody also said was to read with a friend, and I think that's a very incredible idea. I didn't do that because I don't like to read with others a lot. I'm more of a loner reader, and I would like to stay that way. But it might actually help you. Either join a book club, that way you have a specific goal in a book that you have to be done with by a certain point. If that stresses you out, there are a lot of online book clubs. I know that a lot of bookstagrammers and booktubers have their own book club on like Discord or something. So that would be something that maybe you could look into if you want to talk about a book on a monthly basis. Really fun. And then the last thing that I wanted to tell you is whatever you try to read, it's fine. You're doing great. If you've read one page today, I am proud of you. You won, okay? There is no goal here. There is nobody who's tracking you and being like, that's not enough. I am happy that you're picking up a book. I am happy that you're dedicating your time to reading. I'm happy that you want to read. That's all I could ever want, and nobody gets the right to judge you on how little you read. Please take all of the pressure out of reading. Reading is a hobby. Even though I know that the bookstagram community kind of makes it feel like you have to read a certain amount of books every month, otherwise you're not good enough. You are good enough. Whether you read one book a year or like 30 books a month, that does not matter. Actually, I think that for me personally, as a person who reads about like 25 books a month, I am very antisocial sometimes. Like, I just sit in my bed and I read for hours and hours and days, and I don't come out of my little cocoon. If you go out and you do other things, and then you sometimes pick up a book if you feel like it, that's great. That's incredible. I want nothing more, nothing less. That's it. You're doing great. And nobody else should tell you how to read. Nobody. And that's it. That was the video. That was getting out of a reading slump. I hope it helped you. I hope I gave you some strategies to get out of it. And I also hope that you are aware that you don't have to get out of the reading slump. That is, in my opinion, the most important thing. You do not have to get out of that slump if you don't want to. If you want to stay in there, you want to do other things, you want to sit on your phone all day and scroll through Instagram, you do that. That's fine. You can do it if it makes you happy. If reading feels like a job, don't read. Don't do it. The only reason you should be reading is because it's fun for you. And you shouldn't change that for anybody, just because people on the internet tell you to read more. And with that, I'm gonna end this video for today, because honestly, I've been talking for a while now. And I hope to be seeing you all for the next video. Don't forget to leave a like on this video, follow if you don't already, and I will see you for the next time. Bye! I will now be going back to reading this monstrosity. Did you see? I tapped this really beautifully. I like it. It's special, it's stunning, it's a beauty, and I'm very excited to finish this one today. I am also hoping to finish the audiobook that I started. I started a lot of things last week, and I'm currently like listening to a rock star romance audiobook, and it's weird. It's not the best book, but it's still a fun time. Although I had to stop it last night because it was just getting to weird places, and I was like, why are you doing this? So I didn't finish that book. Okay, bye!